What is up, everyone? I'm Jeff Lund, and this is the Mediocre Alaskan podcast, where we are intolerant to the weak-minded attitudes that keep people from pursuing new and exciting things in the areas of fitness, outdoors, and general lifestyle. Talking with Trish from Fish from Trish here in Ketchikan today. Really authentic one who went down to her shop while she was cutting winter king salmon that she had just had offloaded. So there's some spray noise in the back. There's a whole bunch of background noise, but it is authentic. It is the anti-podcast studio for sure. So we're going to talk about how long fish stay in the freezer, how she chooses the fish that she has on store, what she likes to cook them, how does she like to cook them, and what she has available. Also, the launch of her online store, which is coming up soon. We'll cover all that in episode 69 of the Mediocre Alaskan podcast. Make sure you check out the mediocrealaskan.com for other content. And here we go with Trish.
What do we got?
King salmon.
King salmon.
Wild Alaskan winter king salmon.
Where's this from?
Over between here and there. I don't think the fishermen would want me
Oh
to
yeah,
say.
exactly. But it's all like
it's all local.
Local, okay.
Yep, local guy. He's
Awesome.
been out 3 days, and he brought me 15 fish.
Nice.
Pretty good for winter, I think.
Need to use this.
Once in a while.
Oh, you can keep working.
Yeah.
So how do you have commercial fishermen that come and drop it off? You have pre-arranged drop-off times and amounts, or are you just kind of available for anybody who's commercial fishing?
No, I strictly kind of buy from the guys that I know.
Yeah.
So if I don't know them, I give them a chance, as in they'll come in and show me their catch, and if I don't like the quality of it, I won't take it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I only buy from the guys I used to fish around,
Yeah.
or that I have met in the last 7 years here. So
Okay.
it's kind of interesting.
So you've been in Ketchikan 7 years.
Yes. So Fish from Trish has been here 7 years.
And how'd you get into this?
I moved to Sitka like 13 years ago, I think, or so, and fell in love with the area.
Yeah, that's awesome.
My oldest daughter was in the Coast Guard, and it was just the beauty of all of it was amazing. And then I moved there probably a month later. I met a guy about 6 months later and jumped on his boat and went fishing for 4 years.
Wow. Where are you originally from?
Over by Chicago.
So this is a little different. Yeah.
This is a bit different for everything that I just boxed up some fish for a friend of mine from where I used to live, so I'm excited for them to get some of the product over there. So yeah.
Some people come up, visit it, and love it. Other people love it during the summer.
Right.
So how are you able to love it year round?
It took me a while.
What was the biggest adjustment?
We fished all year. So
Okay.
like he'd be off in February, so I'd sit at the harbor with the boat until we moved here and got an apartment.
Okay.
And then hated the winters. It rained all the
Yeah.
time. Like starting October, shrimp season used to be my favorite season. And I don't know. I got used to it. I think being on land more so than the boat, it was easier to get used to.
Okay.
But it took me probably 2 years to adjust.
So you obviously, the Chicago area had your your fair share of cold and snow.
More so
But-
than here.
Yeah. So was it just a matter of the darkness and the wet cold?
And the wet.
Yeah.
Yep, it was, the darkness kind of got me, especially in Sitka, because it was, it just seemed to get darker there, obviously,
Yeah.
it's closer. And the wet, I think, because Illinois, when it rained, we stay inside.
Yeah.
You really wouldn't do much.
Yeah.
Here, you have to work outside. I
Yeah.
have to unload the boats. We have to go look for the ice, everything. So it took a while to get used to that.
Yeah. There are some trade-offs. There are some people who would welcome the weather because they hate traffic more. Do you find that it's like that and the city life is far worse than the weather, or are there times where you kind of think, you know what, maybe I'm done with it up here and I wouldn't mind going back? Or
No, I don't think I
Well,
know I'll never go back.
you
But
you also have you got a vacation plan. That makes it easier, right?
Yeah,
So-
I leave once a year. I didn't used to, but I do now. I have to take that break.
Yeah.
So it used to be just a couple weeks, but I've learned that within those couple weeks, I'm just starting to unwind.
Yeah.
So it takes a couple more weeks to have fun. So now I leave for a month.
Nice.
I love it. I enjoy it. And it kind of breaks that nasty weather up. But I would much rather take the rain and the little bit of snow that we have
Yeah.
over what I used to live in.
Yeah. What about like, pretty meticulous, you're cutting up fish all the time. Does that ever get boring? Do you think about other stuff? I mean, you're obviously very good at it, so you don't have to be totally focused on everything. So, how do you deal with cutting fish?
I didn't cut fish till on the boat. I cleaned a fish, so I could clean a fish in like 30 seconds, which was awesome. But I never filleted a fish because we didn't have that permit on the boat.
Okay.
And then when I opened up Fish from Trish, the captain of the boat would be filleting my fish, and then when I got employees, they all cut the fish,
Okay.
so I didn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Then I lost my employee to Vigor, which was awesome. He's got a great job. But I had nobody to cut my fish anymore. So the guy that I date now taught me how to cut fish 2 years ago. And I enjoy it. I love it.
Yeah.
I have a lot of fun with it, and I am really picky. So the other people that I have that come help me, I'm like, oh no, I don't. I'll cut it.
Do you like the cutting fish aspect of the business, or do you like the business aspect of the business?
I don't like the business aspect of
Yeah.
it, but that's what I'm always going towards. I have a hard time wanting to leave this because I enjoy watching the fish come one way and then they're leaving another way.
Yeah.
And I always like to have my hands on that last piece that goes through.
Yeah. Paperwork is paperwork.
Paperwork
Yeah.
is paperwork. Now I've delegated the paperwork
There you
off
go.
to other places, so that's helping the business. Online store starts January 1st,
Okay.
which is launching. I'm a little scared, but also on the other hand, I'm excited.
Yeah.
So,
What type of stuff are you going to offer on the online? Is that so people can order from down south
Yep.
directly? Awesome.
yeah, right now they're emailing me or calling me or texting me, and that's fine too.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably just another one there. But if they just, order online, they can order anything that we have, fresh or frozen. So,
And I see sometimes you've had lobster available.
yeah.
So how did that happen? You got connections?
I used to sell, or I do sell to a guy over in Boston, and he does the same thing that I do. So I asked him what he bought, what he sells. He let me know. I started with the scallops, and then I went to lobster. I think that's all they buy from me.
Nice.
But he knows the boats just like I do. In the 5 years I've been buying from the company, they have never steered me wrong.
Nice.
So that's where I get my lobster, is Boston.
What about in the handling and the processing of it? Like you're cutting fish all day. Some people would think that'd be terrible because they get an idea that it smells in here right now like their grocery store, where it's just that rank sort of overripe fish. So
Is that what it smells like in here?
no, it smells. It just smells like cold water. That's what my buddies that come up
Yeah.
and they fish. They're just amazed at how it doesn't smell like fish. It just smells like cold salt water.
Yep. Isn't
So-
that strange?
Yeah,
I love the smell.
it's so good.
When I leave here, I smell like a winter king. They
Oh,
have
yeah.
their own certain smells, so it's like, ugh, all I smell is winter king salmon.
Yeah. So how important is proper care of the fish as far as getting it from breaking down and not smelling good, and what are some tips and suggestions? How do you treat the fish?
It all starts on the boat. So even when you're sport fishing, if you bleed your fish immediately, it's, all that blood isn't stuck in the veins and the backbone. Properly ice it. Once it gets to me, I normally never have to worry about it because the fisherman's taken that such good quality care of it. And then I belly ice everything. So instead of just laying that fish on a pile of ice, I'll stuff ice in the head and I'll stuff ice in the belly. It just preserves it better.
What about the difference between flash freezing it and having it never frozen? Some people like the never frozen aspect of it, but if it has a long time from when it's caught until it's prepared, it can start to kind of degrade a little bit. Whereas if you do get it in, get it vacuum packed, get it flash frozen, is there a difference in the freshness by the time you thaw it out?
I think it really all depends on your vac sealer.
Okay.
I'll keep this fresh tomorrow, and then we'll put it in the freezer, just because I leave on Sunday.
Okay.
So tomorrow, and we're closed on Sunday as well. So tomorrow it'll be fresh king salmon available, and then we'll freeze it. So I blast freeze it at -30, and then it sits in my -30 till somebody buys it.
Okay. And how long can it stay? If someone were to buy fish that's vacuum packed and frozen, how long can it last in the freezer? Is it just a matter of how long the seal stays, or is there?
A good seal will give you, people argue with me, but 2 years.
Okay.
And I've had customers open up coho salmon from 2 years ago and say that it tastes just like it was frozen, which, I take a lot of care for my product, so it all depends on how you take care of it, really.
After years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if we've learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when I first heard that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless starting at just $15 a month, I thought, what's the catch? But after talking to them and using their service, it all made sense. There isn't one. Mint Mobile's secret sauce is that they're the first company to sell wireless service online only. They cut out the cost of retail stores and pass those sweet savings directly to you. For anyone who hates their phone bill, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. I was hesitant about having to get a new phone and a new phone number, but with Mint, you can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone and your same phone number along with all of your existing contacts. Mint Mobile gives you the best rate whether you're buying for one or for a family, and at Mint, families start at 2 lines. All plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and to get the plans shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/waypoint. That is mintmobile.com/waypoint. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/waypoint.
What is your favorite product that you either sell or seafood-wise that you like?
King salmon is my favorite.
What about parts? Some people love the bellies. Other people just love fillets.
Parts, it all depends what you're going to do with it. So like the burger meat, like she just scraped the burger off those frames, the carcass. I like that. You can make anything with it. It's like, I don't know. You can
What's
make
your favorite way to do
spaghetti.
it? Oh, okay. So
I break it up and I put it on my dog's food. I mean, because he needs that omega-3 just like we do.
yeah.
I would say I like to pat it up like a burger and fry it.
That's a commonly discarded part of the fish, where once you fillet it, you think you've got all the fish, but then a native in Klawak turned me on to taking the spoon, and scooping out just like she was doing there, and then using that, you can get, like, I like adding some peppers and some salt and whatnot, and then frying it and making a little cake or burger out of it. It's good.
You just can't go wrong with it. It doesn't look great, it doesn't look very nice, but it tastes really good. So, but I would say king salmon's my favorite to process, and then I don't like to process halibut, but I like the end portion of a halibut, like the finished product. Spot prawns used to be my favorite, but buying off of one boat of spot prawns is great. Never gets old. But after like 6 or 7 boats, it's like, I don't want to see another little creature like that. But it's, it's selling, and you get rid of it. I got 11,000 pounds this year, and I think I only have maybe 400 pounds left. So it's nice. I like it to come in and go right out.
When people cook those, do you recommend cooking them in the shell or taking the shell off first, or is that?
I like both ways. I've tried it both ways. The shell, after you boil it, seems to come off a little bit easier if you pinch that tail at the end. Just little tricks. If I'm going to saute them, I would just take the shell off and then saute them instead of boiling them. So it kind of all depends on what you're going to eat them with.
What about some other tips you have for fish or anything else you sell about cooking them or?
I love king salmon or even any salmon really on the grill, especially king salmon right now. That's the only way I eat it. Just as soon as that oil starts showing, I take it off.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah. People
It's
cook the
just
heck out of it.
They do. They cook too
They're
much. And it's just
afraid of-
dry.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're afraid of eating it raw, but really you're cooking whatever is in there.
Yeah.
You want to go check that ice?
We're back. Yeah, the cooking it is, they cook the heck out of it, so it's super dry. It
Yeah.
doesn't taste good at all, but I don't know if they're afraid of whatever. I don't know.
I would say don't be scared of your fish. Even if you put it in the oven, it's, once that oil starts pulling out of there, then just take it out.
Yeah.
It seems like you're just searing it in a way. The scallops are amazing. That's my second favorite thing to eat
How do you like
in
that?
my freezer. They're so sweet.
Yeah.
I've had Alaskan scallops and I've had these Cape Cod scallops, and I'm telling you, they're the
Yeah.
bomb.
Yeah.
I'll have to send you some home.
Yeah. I've had, the only thing that I've had from like back east or somewhat east is shrimp from the Gulf of Mexico. And you can taste a real difference in it because it's that warmer water versus
Yeah.
the cold water up here. And so
Huge difference.
there. And so that was the only thing that I really had. And then crab. Chesapeake Bay or the blue crab.
I haven't had that.
Maryland blue crab. They're really small and they flavor the entire outside of the crab in Old Bay seasoning. So if you order the crab, you get like 20 dumped right in front of you.
But they're about this big.
They're so small that you don't even get much leg meat at all. So it's a real hassle to get all the meat. Whereas Dungeness and king crab, especially king crab, you're getting
We have legs right now that are probably, one leg is a pound. They're delicious. They're already cooked
nice.
and then blast frozen. I don't do that here. I order that.
Do you like king crab or Dungeness?
I would rather have that king crab.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just, being from Illinois, we go to like Red Lobster or somewhere
Well,
like
yeah.
that. And I go back there now and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
Just to smell it just
Why would
irks me. Ugh, what they do to their fish.
Yeah.
But they, that's all we knew.
Yeah.
That's really all we knew.
At first, I was almost judgmental of my friends in California because they would go and they'd buy tilapia at the store. It was frozen, or they would get the farm stuff. They didn't know any difference. Same thing with shrimp. But if you don't know and you enjoy it, then who cares?
Who cares? Right.
But being close to the commercial fishing business here, what would be your selling point of supporting local Alaskan or the commercial fishing of the real stuff rather than the farm stuff? What would be your
Well, I would think my main
argument?
concern is if they have to add anything to a fish, there's something wrong with it.
Yeah.
I don't promote the farm. Even if I wasn't in this type of business, I still don't think I would eat something that they have to put red dye in it to make it look delicious.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some of my fish are off red because it's winter king, so they're full of more of the omega-3 for you. And if you know what you're eating, that's the best way to go.
Yeah.
And then the second part is you're promoting local, so all the local fishermen, the guy that came in here this morning, he bought cannonballs for his boat. So I mean, you're helping that local guy out for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But those would be my huge selling points on not to buy farm fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you replace you're trying to get your omegas, but then you're adding in all the contaminants and the antibiotics and everything else that they do to make those fish grow faster. Because they can't afford to have a fish go through a 4 or 5 year cycle. They got to get those things done as soon as possible.
Right.
So
And it just doesn't.
juice them up and then that's just no good.
Yeah. No, this guy does not look juiced up at all.
No. What about size of fish? Does that impact taste at all? Do you prefer like a 15 to 20 pound king or a 40 pounder? Same thing with halibut.
The halibut, I like the small ones, of course. The king salmon, no. I mean, the fatter the fish, the better. But even this guy looks like, they're kind of like cookie cutters, they're about the same size. They're all about 10 pounds, and
Oh yeah.
What do you like?
Those bigger ones sometimes can be more difficult to cook. If you butterfly it out, then it can be easier. But sometimes you just get that big chunk, and not that you need to cook it all the way through, but then you have almost an extreme raw in the middle versus a very light cook. So, but really, like you said, it doesn't matter a whole lot. You're still having a really good quality fish.
Right. Like a coho, I'd rather have a small coho than a big fat one.
What about your size for the house? Some people are 15 to 20 pounds, other people are as high as 60. You have a poundage size that's
I
ideal.
would say, for my personal use, I would like 20, 30 pounder.
Okay.
But commercial wise, I gotta take what I get.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've always wanted to just say, no, I don't want that size. But you can't. I mean, you gotta take what you get. But I mean, one time I had, I think, what was it, 250 pounds.
Oh, big fish.
Big fish.
Yeah.
They're not as good eating, I don't think.
Yeah.
So I sell those to restaurants.
Yeah.
I try to contact who I know that would buy it, and I'll fillet it for you for nothing if you just take this fish.
Well, you get in the restaurants, they have professional chefs who are so good at making it. The common person doesn't know how to take a larger fish that might not be as ideal and make it excellent.
Right.
You have so a chef they're going to make that thing delicious. So that makes sense.
I agree. I totally agree with that.
When it's pretty hot, how many fish are you cutting per day?
To tell you the truth, I think we just talked about this. I've done like 25 to 30 fish in one day, and my arm hurts. I am just not used to it, and I don't know.
Well,
I like
the
to
business
hire out
aspect
for
to
that.
run too, exactly. Yeah,
Right.
so it's not like you can be sitting there doing the whole thing.
I like to hire out. I get a few helpers, and they're wonderful for the day.
Mm-hmm.
They help me out tremendously. When I have a boat that tells me it has like 86 fish, I don't want to fillet 86
No,
fish.
yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, let me see if I can get some help.
What about the fish you caught? You've been around fish a lot. Have you been able to? Some of the guides I know, they guide fish and they've guided 60-pound kings, but the biggest they've caught is 30. What about fish that you've caught, biggest size?
I would say the biggest size I've caught is about a 45-pound king.
It's good fish.
And that was over by Sitka,
Okay.
where we fished. So it was, I miss fishing. I never have time to do it anymore.
Yeah, because your job is the busiest when the fishing's the best.
Right. So I go to somewhere warm and go fishing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I go.
What's the best part about living in Ketchikan?
What's the best part?
Yeah.
The views. The view.
Yeah.
I think the view is the most spectacular thing I've ever seen. I used to have just, cornfields around me. So that was a nice view. But
Yeah. There's some nice sunsets there, but when you add the water and the mountains, you can't.
you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong. The people are just so nice too. Nice and friendly. It's like when I first moved to Sitka, they didn't care what you had on, what you looked like for the day, and what you smell like, because we're always smelling like fish.
That's a good smell.
So it is a good smell. It's smell of money. But I don't know, back home, if you walk to the grocery store or something like that and walked in stinking like a king salmon,
Yeah.
they'd look at you and ask you, probably believe.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I like it how people don't judge you here. Yeah.
Well, I'll let you finish up with the fish there. Any closing thoughts about what you're offering? Anything more about the launch of the online ordering or anything else you want to add?
Online ordering, well, if you go to Facebook, we have a nice Facebook following. I think there's 3,300 people right now,
Good.
which is awesome. Facebook, you can see what we're doing. You can always email us at fishfromtrish@iCloud, which is pretty easy to remember. Look us up online. I have a website, but it's not so good. I mean, it's one of those things. I just don't have the time to work on it. So always looking for a webmaster. Actually, I found one from Wisconsin,
Nice.
so that'll be really good. But yeah, I can't wait for the store, and we're open Monday through Friday, 12 to 4, and Saturdays 10 to 3.
What do you have usually on? I know you have obviously Winter King right now. I saw you have Hump Island oysters.
Hump Island oysters, we get those once a week, and I don't buy a lot because I'm always worried to keep them too long.
Yeah.
We always, I think yellow eye is the only thing I'm low on. Otherwise,
Okay.
we have everything else that you could think of, and if I don't have it, I'll find it for you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Hey, don't shake my hand.